So this week I speak to you from modern Babylon, London, for this week's Freedom Report. And I want to look a little bit, continuing the Babylonian theme of money and power and economics. I want to firstly start, we're in a new moon. This is quite interesting, actually. So right today, January the 11th, we have a new moon in Capricorn. That means the sun and the moon conjoin in Capricorn. What's also interesting is Pluto is in Capricorn and Mars is in Capricorn at the moment. That's a lot of energy in one sign. And Pluto transformation. And with new moon there, new beginnings. Capricorn is money, the big banks, business, power, institutions, government, all those things. So at the moment, this new moon, I think it's 20 degrees Capricorn, January the 11th, we're putting new structures. It's ruled by Saturn, structures down. And we're going to obviously be operating from a position of love here, not from fear. We are moving into a different frequency. We're moving out of victimization into victimization into victorhood. Moving into the love frequency away from fear. Okay, and it's all about what we can co-create together. I mean, I've just spent this morning in the gym with my wonderful younger brother, who's very strong, and he's an amazing entrepreneur, and he's juggling 3 or 4 different businesses. He's got 2 beautiful children. They're young, a lovely wife. He's really, really living it. He works hard, and this is in a way a great example of the new moon in Capricorn. We put our roots down and we start creating. That's what it is to be human. And at the same time, Saturn, the old systems, they are being torn down. A lot of issues of power at the moment. Pluto, when he's moving through Capricorn, it reveals the toxicity in the system. And for people personally, it can reveal the toxicity within themselves. They have to purge something. Many of us have had, these coughs, these fevers recently. I've just got over one myself. I've actually just started taking the chlorine dioxide, and my gosh, isn't that effective? And it's cheap. The powers that be don't want us having effective, cheap remedies, do they? They want to keep us permanently in a position of victimization so they can treat us but not heal us. But we all know that now, don't we? So anyway, this time we've got the big things on the astrological map. I think I may have mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again. First one would be the Pluto moving into Aquarius, and literally about a week's time, Pluto will move into Aquarius for the next 20 years, with excluding the quick blip back in October for the last time into Capricorn. The other one would be the Saturn conjoining Neptune. Saturn is structure. It's going to be dissolving in the water sign of Pisces, but especially as Saturn gets closer to Neptune, we are going to see these old structures absolutely crumble. And then really the big one, which I love talking about, is the Jupiter conjoining Uranus in Taurus. And in a way, I want to talk a little bit about what this means today with Uranus in Taurus. If we go back a Uranus cycle ago, we had the 1930s Dust Bowl. And that's when fast food was invented. I mean, obviously, that's when the Rockefeller great enterprise got going and the new economic system came into place. The new control system really was ramped up. And we, the people in the United States and around the world, but particularly in America, they moved away from the local farm, from the homestead. And suddenly things were being provided for from without rather than from within. And that played out throughout the whole Uranian cycle. And here we are again, Uranus and Taurus. Yes, we have the Gates, nightmare dystopian vision of eating bugs and absolute nonsense food, but there's also people like yourselves who are really saying, no, we're going to go properly organic, not fake organic, but really we're returning to the land, we're returning to the homestead, we're learning how to fish, we're learning how to cook, we're learning how to feed our families, new ways of feeding us, new technologies as well. Uranus and Taurus being food, being the home, being the land, being literally the soil, because it's earth. Uranus is innovation, it's air, it's technology. So the upside is new incredible technologies coming in for we the people to support us as we transfer ages, really. We come out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So this is what we're experiencing. But I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin was birthed on the 3rd of January. 2009. And here we are at the beginning of January 2024, and there are some similar archetypal realities. We had, with the birth of Bitcoin in 2009 January, Pluto, Mars and the Sun and Jupiter conjoined in Capricorn. Here we are again, Pluto with Mars, Sun and Moon right now. Jupiter's obviously moved over into Taurus, but it's like Jupiter's conjoining Uranus now. So we're going to see some big things play out with the cryptocurrencies over the coming weeks and months. Which way it's going to go, it's not for me to say. As you know, I'm not a financial advisor. I do like financial astrology. I do like astrology, mundane astrology, to look at these things. And I definitely sense the Uranian frequency here on the march. And many people are getting more interested and more familiar with cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. I mean, I speak for myself. I'm very lucky. I have a few very close friends who guide me profoundly. I understand it conceptually, I understand it archetypally, astrologically, but I don't understand it so well on the technical side and on the sort of the AI side of how to manage it. But I'm learning, and I think that's the thing. We all are learning about this. And there will be some Bitcoins, I think. There will be, some cryptocurrencies which will stick. There could be quite a few of them because we're moving into a decentralized world. And I think we're going to start to see another spurt probably in Bitcoin. I've also been learning from other friends that there are two Bitcoins. There's the original one, and then there's one that's been distorted. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, I would say with Uranus and Taurus, we're also going to see some big innovations in technology, and especially like in healing technologies. There are these new quantum healing systems starting to come out, and obviously people have been talking about med beds. So we'll have to see. That's definitely something for us all to keep an eye on over the coming year. Excuse me. And the other one would be Uranus and Taurus would be inflation, especially when Jupiter comes closer to Uranus and Taurus. I wouldn't be surprised that we're going to start to see some hyperinflation during the course of 2024. And that's why I think it's really important for us to invest in gold and silver, for us to get out of the fiat currency as much as possible. I haven't really said this so directly before, but here we are in 2024. We don't lose anything by spreading our assets a little bit more. I think it's prudent to move some money into gold and silver. I've certainly moved a little bit into silver. And then I think if one's able to, play a little bit with crypto, because money just sitting in a fiat bank account in the corrupt Federal Reserve System isn't really going to go anywhere. Hopefully, we're going to be protected. Hopefully, there are positive powers at play here who will protect the people from losing huge amounts of their money. But I still feel with the Uranus and Taurus, with Jupiter coming close to it as we get closer to April in the spring, it is definitely worth looking at spreading one's assets in a more creative way. So that's really the main things that I wanted to share with you today. On a other astrological level, Venus is in Sagittarius right now, moving fast. She'll be catching up with Mars and Mercury in Capricorn over the coming weeks. So if you've got planets specifically at the moment in the cardinal signs, so if you have planets in Capricorn, planets in Aries, planets in Libra, and planets in Cancer, you are personally going to be more affected by these energies, these cosmic energies playing out at the moment. So just be aware of that. And when you're affected, it can be very positive because it can give you the energy, the desire to make some changes. Cardinal is initiation. Cardinal means new beginnings. And of course, if you've got Cancer, you initiate emotionally. If you've got Aries, you're initiating through fire, through creative spirit, through vision. And obviously with Capricorn, you're initiating through grounded, earth-based physicality, of concretization, of business, and entrepreneurialism. And then, of course, Libra, you're being very creative through relationships. So just be aware, if you've got those playing out in your chart, especially if they're in the big three, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant, you are going to be activated at this time. And especially because of the nodes. The nodes, the north-south nodes on the Aries Libra axis are going to affect you. And they're going to be making a square, well, they are making a square right now to the Sun and Moon, Pluto, Mars in Capricorn. So that's a lot of energy. Some of you may feel very intense. Some of you may feel either having a lot of energy or you'll feel exhausted. There's extreme feelings happening, and that's why the grounding, the spiritual work is so important at this time. So that's really my message for today, and I look forward to sharing more and more with you in the coming weeks. God bless, and again, happy 2024. It is going to be a great year. Why? Because we have each other, we're co-creators, and we don't live in fear. We live in the absolute belief that we can expand our consciousness for ourselves and for our fellow humanity to make this world the way it should be, heaven on earth. God bless.